my name is Elisa. I'm back, and we are talking about the female reproductive system. We're looking this time, part 12, oogenesis and the sexual cycle. So we are going to look at what the process of egg production is, referred to as oogenesis, right? The beginning of egg making. We're going to describe the changes in the ovarian follicles follicular genesis in relation to oogenesis, right? There's stages that have to occur. We're going to talk about the hormonal events and describe the ovarian cycle. We'll also look at how the uterus changes during menses and the menstrual cycle. We will look at a chart of the phases of the monthly sexual cycle and showing all the hormonal changes, where the ovaries are at, and what the uterus is doing during each one of those phases. So the reproductive cycle is a sequence of events from fertilization of the egg to actually giving birth, returning back to the ability to get pregnant again, also known as fertility. A sexual cycle is the events that reoccur every single month in human females when no pregnancy uh, occurs. It consists of two cycles that are going to be controlled by shifting patterns of hormone secretion. And the two are the ovarian cycle, and so that's everything that's happening in the ovaries, and the menstrual cycle, which is everything that's happening in the uterus. The production of an egg is known as oogenesis, beginning of the eggs. It produces haploid gametes from meiosis. It's a cyclic event that normally releases one egg every single month, and it is accompanied by cyclic changes in hormone secretion, changes in the histological structure of the ovaries as well as the uterus. And the uterus is going to have some pretty dramatic changes in blood flow, right, or the releasing of blood for the monthly menstrual cycle. Embryonic development of the ovary. The female germ cells arise from a yolk sac, and they are going to colonize the gonadal ridges in the ovary in the first few weeks of the development. As one grows and matures, they differentiate into oogonia, and they will multiply until the 5th month to about 6 to 7 million. Each one of these are going to transform into the primary oocytes during the early stages of meiosis 1. The most degenerate atrophy or atresia by the time the young girl is actually born. The egg, the ovum, any stage of the primary oocyte to the time of fertilization. By puberty, only 200,000, which is still a lot of those oocytes, will remain, and that is the lifetime supply. Uh, an individual will probably only actually ovulate around 480 times. Egg development is going to resume during adolescence, right? So it turns off during childhood, and then in adolescence it comes back on with the appearance of follicle stimulating hormone, right? Follicles. We're going to be stimulating about 24 oocytes to complete meiosis 1. So they're going to continue on with that development. Each one of these little oocytes is going to divide into the haploid, right, daughter cells of unequal size, right? So you have like polar body, polar body, polar body, and then egg, right? It produces an egg with as much cytoplasm as possible, being big, and if it fertilizes, it divides repeatedly, and then, of course, like numerous cells. So we need all of that extra machinery, energy, and space for that process. A secondary oocyte is a large dado cell. That is the product of meiosis 1. The polar body is smaller and ultimately disintegrates. The secondary oocyte is going to proceed as far as at least metaphase 2, so pretty quick. And then it's going to arrest until after the actual process of ovulation occurs. If it's not fertilized, it's just going to die and be expelled. It never finishes meiosis, actually. And if it is fertilized, it's going to finish up that meiosis too, and it's going to cast off that second teeny tiny polar body. The chromosomes of the large remaining egg are going to come together with that of the sperm, and that is fertilization, and that will develop into a fetus eventually, right? So here is kind of the development chart of the egg, right? So here is mitosis, so cell division itself, and then the meiosis process. So here's the follicle itself changing. Once it's become activated itself, the secondary follicle actually thickens quite a bit. Tertiary follicle eventually having an atrium right here, so it's like visible under a microscope, right? All this like nascent white space. And then this is the bursting or ovulation, what is left of the Follicle itself becomes corpus luteum, right? Okay, ovarian follicles. Here's kind of like the microscope slides of them. So this is like young follicle cells, very early on, oocytes. Primordial follicles, so they're ready, but they are not anywhere near. Um, they're ready to enter in to oogenesis. Tunica albuginea of the ovary, right, protective layer. Here is a more matured cell with a follicle itself proper, a oocyte egg that is ready for development maturation. And Zona Pellucida is kind of like this zone of just not entirely white, but sort of becoming more lucid. Granulosa cells here just look like little teeny tiny grains of sand, supportive between the follicle itself as well as the egg. Columnus euphorus, right, is going to be this small stretch um, between the egg and the connective component of the follicle. Atrium is this like kind of broad, clear, luminous space right in here. Theca folliculi is going to be the outer component of the follicle, um, right, outer component, protective layer, and shell. Okay, so that is right, oogenesis, kind of beginning. I hope that was helpful. I hope you're all out there having a great day. Bye.